Also to welcome investors in the industrial sector and to add value to our agricultural products. Being able to sell our products in different countries so as to make sure we benefit in the international relations, which also, in the past 5 years, President Dr. John Magufuli strengthened the good neighborhood altogether with other nations that we have relations.
I think that it is important to contribute to the sustainability of this result. We cannot agree more with what you said during your speech about the essential role of the private investment to achieve this result. And we wanted to tell you that the European Union is on your side, and we are ready to help whatever it is necessary to do in order to improve the framework for investments and to attract new investments.
The Immigration Department, in cooperation with the police force and other security organs in Morogoro region, have arrested 45 illegal immigrants from Ethiopia who were being transported in a lorry with registration numbers T2216MW from Tanga region.
Wahamiaji hao haramu wamekamatwa katika Mlima Simba, kijiji cha Bwage, wilaya ya Mvomero, kata ya Mzia.
The illegal migrants were found hidden in a lorry together with the driver and 2 conductors, but in the process of making the arrest, the driver escaped together with the 2 conductors.
Vyombo vya ulinzi na usalama katika mkoa wetu wa Morogoro tumejipanga vizuri.
Peace and security officers are well prepared. We're working together to combat any criminal activity.
Kwa kweli sisi tunashukuru jeshi la uhamiaji.
We are grateful that the immigration officers working with the police are able to make arrests of illegal immigrants,
ambao umeweza kusababisha kukamatwa kwa watu hao, kwa sababu wanapokuwa wanaingia bila vibali kuna madhara makubwa sana.
Morogoro hatutaki uhalifu wala sio korido ya wahamiaji haramu.
Various leaders in the country joined other mourners at the last respects held for the Regional Administrative Secretary of Arusha, late Richard Kwitega, before his body was flown on board ATCL to Mwanza region. Richard Kwitega died on Wednesday in a head-on collision road accident that occurred at Mdoli area.
Mwenyezi Mungu aipokee roho yake na aiweke mahali pema peponi. Wote tulitoka kwa udongo na tutarudi kwa udongo.
May God rest his soul in peace. We all came from dust and we will return to dust. This is a very big loss, but I'm asking that it unites us, the people of Arusha.
Kwa sababu sasa limekwisha tokea na hatuwezi kumrudisha.
Because this had already happened and we cannot bring him back, I'm asking you that we pray to God to bring us someone from us like Kwitega for Arusha and for Tanzania.
May his soul rest in peace. Amen. Now, moving on, members of parliament have called on the government to increase more efforts in employment creation for youth in order to address the growing unemployment situation facing the group and to ensure improvement of road infrastructure and the agriculture sector. They made the statements when contributing to the president's parliament opening speech.
Ajira kwa vijana na watoto na vijana wetu, wanafunzi wengi.
A lot of graduates complete their studies, but access to jobs is a challenge to them.
Barabara zetu nazo zimekuwa na hali mbaya sana, ni ngumu.
They must create opportunities for Tanzanians to work outside the country. The benefits that we will enjoy from such opportunities, ministers could do so via our embassies.
Serikali imerudisha viwanda vyetu vya Nyanza Shireku.
The government has restored the factories in Nyanza Shireku, yet we are not able to save cotton.
Wananchi milioni 16 ndio roho yetu, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Many people at various markets and Bungo bus station in Dar es Salaam have been seen to ignore health guidelines given by health experts on how to protect themselves from various diseases in places where there is congestion of people.
hawajafikishiwa bado elimu, hawajatambua. Nafikiri wakifikishiwa elimu.
I think there is a lack of awareness, but once information is made available to them, they will take precaution.
Huo ndio ushauri wangu.
Yaani kama mazingira hapa stendi hapa, yaani msongamano yaani ni kitu cha kawaida.
Congestion at the station is common. Perhaps people should protect themselves by wearing masks, but they are not remembering to do even that.
Poli Tower, turatibu kwa pamoja vizuri.
We must together analyze the medicine that we've come up with. It is few given the number of medicinal trees we have, so that people will have access to medication from recognized centers. This will help us as a country instead of everyone coming up with medication independently.
Rasmi ili mwananchi asihangaike kwenda kutafuta dawa barabarani au masokoni.
The High Commissioner of Pakistan in Tanzania, Muhammad Salim, has called on the international community to support efforts being taken to ensure human rights and equality are respected in Kashmir, which has continued to face violation of human rights due to the ongoing conflicts between India and Pakistan, which erupted in 1947 when both countries gained independence. High Commissioner Muhammad Salim made the statement in Dar es Salaam at an occasion to mark Kashmir Solidarity Day, commemorated every February 5th.
The historical connectivity, the courses of the nature and rivers and valleys and the winds were connected to Pakistan. The people were 95% Muslims. And even the state postal, railway, telegraph, all the communication network was what is today Pakistan. So what happened? Within months, the two countries went into war over Kashmir in 1948. And in December 1948, the first UN Security Council resolution came, which said that the future of the disputed state has to be decided by free and fair plebiscite. That means right to let the people go and have a referendum.
Request to the UNO to fulfill the commitments. It's an old agenda though. In 1948 they have promised that this area will be with the wishes of the Kashmiri people under the fair plebiscite.
Now, the Minister of Health, Community Development, Agenda, the Elderly and Children has led a fundraising on behalf of Prime Minister for construction of a cancer ward at Buganda Referral Hospital in Mwanza to cost 5.4 billion shillings, where 1.3 billion was raised in pledges and cash from various stakeholders.
Pledges that we've received totals 1,219,216,000. Cash received is 46,750,000. In total, what we've gathered here today is 1,339,116,000. In Buganda Hospital, statistics show an increase in the number of patients from 320 patients in 2009 to 14,900 in 2020. There is a lot of work to be done. Even today, we hope in steps being taken, we will go further.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda has allowed tertiary institutions with students who are left with 1 year to graduate to reopen. The decision to reopen tertiary institutions comes after they were directed to close for nearly 1 year due to the coronavirus pandemic.
They can use the school facilities to be able to social distance.
They can use the school facilities to be able to practice social distancing so that to stop the spread of coronavirus and the students will be safe. After the 6th of April, when the students are done with their exams, the Minister of Education will announce on how the schools will reopen so as to multiply the students' potential.
For how the S2s and the S4s.
The United Nations has said life for civilians in Ethiopia's embattled Tigray region has become extremely alarming and continues to deteriorate rapidly as hunger grows and fighting remains an obstacle to aid reaching millions of people. In a report released on Thursday, the UN says access to essential services, food, water and livelihoods remain disrupted in large swaths of the troubled region. The conflict has left thousands of people dead and caused some 950,000 to flee their homes. Now, moving on, opposition leader in Kenya, Raila Odinga, has continued with his campaign in Turkana County to get support for the constitutional amendments through the Building Bridges Initiative BBI. Addressing residents, Raila Odinga used the opportunity to criticize the Jubilee government, claiming it had failed to implement various pledges it made in the last election.
35%.
More than 9 billion shillings, 5% distributed to each ward through Ward Development Fund that will help women and youth. We have a lot of youth with no employment, and the government cannot employ all the youth. So we have Youth Development Fund that youth will be able to use funds to establish businesses and will not pay interest up to 7 years. He said we will have 1 million new employment each year, and we have never seen such a thing here in Turkana. They have forgotten their promises, so we want BBI report to be accepted.
Youth Development Fund.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Tanzania Investment Center, TIC, has said construction of a big transformer and cables production plant at Kisarawe to Kigamboni area, Dar es Salaam, will help to eliminate the problem of lack of electrical products after the government banned importation of such products.
Tumetembelea eneo kubwa la kilomita mraba 120,020.
We have visited a large area of 120,000 square kilometers that they will invest in the electrical equipment projects, cables, transformers, and other electrical equipment. The government wants to use all the equipment available within the country for our electrical generation and transmission projects.
We have around 25 production facilities.
We have around 25 production facilities, and they work hand in hand in East Africa, but also the marketing department that works by looking at the difference between regions.
Tobacco farmers from Ushetu District Council, Shinyanga region have expressed concern over delayed payments for tobacco sold in last year's season, saying the situation has caused them to live in hardship and fail to continue with this year's farming season.
It is the unpaid tobacco payments. I want you to understand it is the second season. That is to mean people were working hard in the first farming phase, sold the products, but has not been paid yet, and has to carry on with the second phase of farming. We are asking the government to look into this matter.
Kuna baadhi ya wakulima bado hawajapewa pesa yao.
There are some farmers with the unpaid tobacco payments of the first farming phase of 2019-2020. Through the payments of the cotton and tobacco farmers is where we get our council taxes. And because we have responsible organs, we need them to look into this matter so that people are held responsible. These claims do not exist in Usheta Council alone, but in many other primary parts. And the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, is working on these claims, and the deadline is on 8th of February, and that all these claims should be cleared.
Mawazo haya ya mwenyekiti wa kamati husika tuanze kuyafanyia kazi baada ya tarehe 8 kuona kwamba bado madai hayo hayajalipwa.
The Ministry of Industry has assigned the education system used by Japan, which enables industry owners to improve production of good quality products by using modern technology known as Kaizen, has contributed to increase in products and access to reliable international markets.
Viwanda vimeendelea kuzalisha kwa
Factories have continued to produce products of very high standards. These products should be able to compete in the international market.
Mostly kuongeza tija na ubora. Au walikuwa
We need to increase productivity and quality. Most of the time, our raw materials are perishable. We want to move from 20 to 10% this year.
Kuendelea labda kwenye 10% mwaka huu.
And that marks the end of business news. Sports news follows up next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose and then.
And in sports news, Yanga Sports Club goalkeeper Farouk Shikalo says the Mapinduzi Cup tournament helped to improve his skills and made his coach Cedric Kaze more confident about him.
Ni kweli nilikuwa nataka kumdhibitishia mwalimu uwezo wangu.
It is true I wanted to prove myself to the coach, but it's not because I wanted to be in the first 11. Since the coach came, my first game was against Singida, and I have played a few games. I have only played 2 games. So I saw that as an opportunity to show the coach what I can do.
Kwamba ile ni opportunity ya kumuonyesha mwalimu na nini mimi kibinafsi kama mimi ndio.
Leonard Bahati Masanja, a resident of Igusule, Nzega district, Tabora region, has won an S1 smartphone after taking part in Radio 1 brain teaser program Chemsha Bongo, which is aired on Saturday at 8:15 in the night. Now, On a Sacramento Kings star, De'Aaron Fox criticized the NBA's plans to stage an All-Star game this season with the annual mid-season exhibition amid the coronavirus pandemic. Here more details.
The NBA told its teams on Thursday night that it expects to finalize plans in the coming week to have an All-Star game in Atlanta. The game and skills competitions will be held on 7th of March, the NBA told clubs in the memo, a copy of which was obtained by the Associated Press. It remains unclear when players would have to report to Atlanta and how testing will work there, or if fans will be part of the game.
Yoshiro Mori, the head of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics Organizing Committee, has apologized for making sexist remarks about talkative women in sports organizations, but said he would not resign. Here more details.
A former Japanese prime minister with a history of demeaning remarks told a meeting of the Japanese Olympic Committee JOC this week that meetings attended by too many women tended to drag on because they talked too much. At a hastily arranged press conference on Thursday, a deeply remorseful Mori acknowledged that his comments had been inappropriate and ran counter to the Olympic spirit. Asked why he had claimed that women talked too much at board meetings, he replied, "I don't talk to women that much these days, so I don't know."
And Liverpool have been barred from playing their Champions League match in Leipzig because of COVID-19 restrictions. Here's more on the story.
The last 16 tie had been scheduled to take place on 16th of February, but the German government has banned entry on all arrivals from countries affected by coronavirus variants until 17th of February. The German Interior Ministry said on Thursday that an application by RB Leipzig for special permission for Liverpool to enter the country was refused by federal police. The stance provides a headache for both clubs and UEFA, with the game now likely to be played at a neutral venue. London and Budapest have already been mooted as possible locations. It is understood the idea of switching the ties, playing the first leg at Anfield, is not being considered.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimba. Thank you for watching and good night.